Hello and welcome to another episode of the Influence Economy podcast. I'm your host, Shayna Davis. I'm glad you're here, but before we get started, I would love if you would do me a favor. So, wherever it is that you're listening to this episode, I want you to take a screenshot. With that screenshot, I want you to post it on your social media, tag us here at Shayna Rattler Davis, and then I just want to hear your biggest aha moment or your biggest takeaway from this episode. And the reason why I do that is not so much for the downloads, but because, in my opinion, far too many women are living beneath their profit potential. And everybody doesn't know where to start to change that. And so, the more women that are exposed to these episodes, the more times that they will know what the shifts are going to be required in order for them to own their influence. So, I appreciate you being willing to share. I'm going to read my guest bio and we are going to get straight to it. So, my guest today's extensive travel and work in over 50 countries has given her the reputation of a global citizen. As CEO of the Circle of Excellence Group, she is known for her high energy levels, global community, and jet setter lifestyle as a sought after international speaker on business growth, peak performance, and having a growth mindset. Her pioneering strategies for business growth and mindset potential are implemented in boardrooms, universities, and schools all over the world. Her solutions are accredited by EAF, which is the Educational Alliance Finland, a global quality standard for 21st century skills. She works with a hand selected group of conscious leaders who are committed to playing a bigger game in business and life. And she's currently launching a private members club for entrepreneurs. I'm excited to welcome to the show Landi Jack.
Wonderful to be here with you and your audience, Shayna. Thank you for having me.
I'm happy to have you here. So, this month we're talking about bigger deals, and how fitting is it? Because for those
Yeah.
of you that aren't watching the video, she has a background that says play a bigger game. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today is how entrepreneurs, whether they have a personal brand or another type of business, how they can actually play a bigger game. And so I want to start by talking about you and I both are on the same page that we teach how to land premium clients. I
Yep.
believe that in business, we should not be stepping over dollars to get to dimes. Why should
Yep.
we limit ourselves to smaller clients, meaning they're either not valuing investing in themselves, or you have a conversation with them and they're like, I would love to work with you, but I can't afford it. I don't know about you, but I got so sick of that, which is why I started landing corporate contracts, why I started landing corporate sponsors, and why I now teach other businesses and podcast hosts how to do the same. So, where I
There
want
you
to
go.
start with this is, in your opinion, what distinguishes a premium personal brand from just an average one that's not really going to be positioned to get premium clients?
Well, I think, Shayna, for me, it comes always back to stories. I like to tell stories to people to bring a point across. And, when me and Mike travel, Mike's my husband, when me and Mike travel international, we sometimes can be in a position where we have breakfast with one group of people, lunch with the next group of people, and dinner with the next group of people. So our schedule is very tightly planned and scheduled. So then it would happen sometimes that I need shampoo and conditioner, and we have to go to the shop, right? And I'm not going to walk into that shop and drag Mike through the shop with me for half an hour because we're now looking for my shampoo and conditioner. So I've learned to say to him, because I know a premium shampoo, like when I have to use my hair, which it needs very specific requirements, can't have sulfites in it, can't have this in it, can't. So I've learned to say to him, just look for shampoos and conditioners that's $50 up each. That's how I
Right.
learned to do it. So Mike is not even going to look at any brand or any product or anything below that price. And when it comes to pricing yourself and when it comes to branding yourself to attract premium clients, the same principle applies. So if you're going to brand yourself and price yourself in a plastic bottle, with a fish on it, nothing against the fish, then you're attracting a certain market. But if you're going to put yourself in a glass bottle with a little bit of a golden thing around it in a ribbon, then you are branded and positioned to attract a person who's not even looking at anything else.
I think that's so good. You have to really know your clients. And so if you're not
Yeah.
already positioned for premium clients, you need to do some deep research on
Yeah.
what is it they like? What is it that they like in terms of textures? What is it they like in terms of visuals? Because if you don't look and feel literally and figuratively like what it is that they're accustomed to, they're going to immediately just breeze past you because they're not going to recognize you at the level of what it is that they're accustomed to. No different than I live here in Dallas, Texas, and we have, multiple different malls, but it's obvious when you're in the mall that has high-end stores, not just because Marc Jacobs, Louis Vuitton is on the storefront and you're able to recognize the brand name, but from the moment that you walk in the door of the mall, what you smell, what you see, what you feel is an indication that what is in there is our premium stores. Versus I can go into another mall, and don't get me wrong, I've been in all of them and sometimes go to all of them depending on what I'm looking for.
We
But when
all
I
do.
go to one of those other malls, what I walk in and what I see, what I feel, and definitely what I smell does not have the same level of affluence to it that it does when I'm in the store in the mall with the premium stores.
Exactly. And I think what I find with some of my clients who wants to become a premium brand is in order to attract premium brands, you have to become a premium brand. And
Mm.
that takes confidence. That's where a lot of people fall short. They do not have the confidence or want to develop the confidence in themselves. And then you get issues like pricing, and I can't price that much, and I'm not worth that, and so on and so on.
And outside of pricing, what are some of the other biggest mistakes that you see business owners make when they're trying to position themselves for premium clients?
Well, I'm going to give you a very strange answer because it shocks a lot of people when I say that as well, because we sometimes make business more complex, I think, than it has to be. I've worked with clients where they walk through my door, or I mean, we mostly work with them online, and I say to them, look, you're a consultant and you want to access the corporate market, but you dressed like that. Let's just slap a proper stitched black jacket on you and something like a statement ring and send you into the boardroom and see what difference it makes. I had people coming back to me who's
Wow.
doubled their rates just by dressing better. So we tend to think about positioning only in terms of our marketing collateral and our online universe, and those things apply as well. But everything applies when it comes to brand, and people are not always sometimes open to hear it because they think what I'm telling them is you have to dress like that all the time. No, you don't have to dress like that all the time. It is the impression you make at first contact when you're out there competing, a word we're also not allowed to use today, but this is a game. And if you want to be in the game and if you want to get the premium clients, you have to compete. And that includes the whole package. It includes your marketing collateral, what you wear, the way you appear online and all that. But in answering your question, I've seen people make substantial changes in their business by getting themselves a proper graphic designer.
Yeah.
Shayna, if you think about positioning and especially attracting premium clients, if you are positioned with a brand that's full of color, like Google, for example, or like a brand that sells cereal porridges to kids, you are going to attract more of a lower paying client. But if you're going to go for the premium colors, which is most of the time black, white, and the metallics like gold and silver, you're probably going to attract a much more higher paying color. What a client. Why? Because we've been conditioned like that. I mean, you can go to most of the banks in the world. No one's going to give you a pink card if you're a private member, or if you need a private bank, and no one's going to give you a card full of different colors, maybe except in New Zealand. I noticed they can give colorful cards for premium members. But most of the places, if you're a premium member, you can have a black card, you can have a golden card, you can have a silver or platinum card, and sometimes a white card. So those do remain the premium colors. And that doesn't mean all of you listening or watching here today have to have black and white, gold and metallic cards, but bringing pops of that in your dress style, in your online universe, and in your design makes a huge difference in the subliminal message that gets sent to your client.
One of the things that I want to add to that is you talked about how we appear online, not just from our visuals, But a lot of the people that listen to my show have personal brands, like I have a personal brand. And we've been taught different things over the years about on your social media, whether or not you should showcase, since you are a personal brand, that people want to be able to connect with you personally. So they want to see what it is that you're doing in your life. And so you're sharing lifestyle things. And I believe that you should do that to a degree, but I think that if you are going to do that, that you also need to be very mindful to make sure that what it is that you're demonstrating as a premium brand that wants premium clients in your professional life somewhat aligns with what it is that you're showing in your personal life. Now, again, just like you said, I'm not saying that in your personal life you always have to walk around in 6-inch heels, although I have a tendency to kind of do that. But you don't, but you do want to be mindful that if you're sharing personal glimpses of your life, that there's not a major disconnect between what you're doing and, more importantly, what you're saying than what it is that you're showing in your professional life. I had a client at one time that she really struggled to adopt this mindset. But I'm like, listen, you came to me because you wanted to be able to sell your stuff to larger organizations. And what you've done professionally and what you're putting out professionally on your social media looks really good. But the glimpses that you're sharing of your lifestyle, you're cussing like a sailor, you're taking shots, you're not demonstrating. And she was like, but why should that matter? It's the weekend. I'm doing what it is that I want to do. And I said, because people do business with people. People don't do businesses with companies. And if they don't yet know you and they haven't had an opportunity to experience you, you don't want to create an objection because they don't know what they're going to get when they pay you 75 or $100,000 to come in and do a workshop.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of value in what you're sharing here with your viewers and listeners today. I think there's two things that we have found in our community is really important when it comes to premium clients, and especially if they're checking you out online, as you so beautifully explained. I think the first thing, and in many respects, it's very similar to what you said there, is a premium client wants to feel safe.
Yeah.
They want that. Why? Because they can spend a lot of money and they have to go to a spouse or a partner or a business partner, and they have to sort of rationalize to them why they're going to spend this money not on a product, not on property, not on a car, not on a house, but on a service. And in order to do that, they want to be able to see you pitch online, show up online, consistency, consistently, and not as a loose cannon. So if they do find you having the shots and all that stuff, it's going to be a problem. So I totally agree with that. You have to make sure that the brand is consistently making them feel safe. This is the first point. But now I'm going to throw in a different angle, and that is I find a lot of our premium clients are looking for differentiators. They don't like a sea of sameness. A person who's going to spend a lot of money on a personal development coach or a specialist consultant or someone to help them with their brand or with their next level or business, whatever, are looking for someone who's different. They're looking for someone who's got different values, maybe a different lifestyle, maybe, they into, for example, let's say I'm a consultant that specializes in business growth. If I'm going to combine that with really premium cooking skills or being a wine connoisseur, I'm probably going to attract a very specific audience because I'm polarizing, and a premium client would want that. If I'm just a person who specializes in business growth and there's no essence, there's the keyword, and no differentiators, then I'm probably going to just pass the premium market by as a sea or sameness, or I'm exactly like someone else. So I think that brings me back to the point. If you want premium clients, you need to be a premium person where you can be as open about what you do during the day and during night, so that people can look you up and start getting inspired by who you really are and the lifestyle that you really live, so that you don't have to hide this, shots or whatever you're doing behind the scenes, whatever, so that they can get truly inspired by the life that you live because of your ability to make them feel safe, but also by your ability to have values and boundaries and very specific preferences and essences, as I call them. And in my experience, if you combine those two, that's safety and consistency, as well as a personality, preference, values, and boundaries that's highly unique, then you really start attracting the premium client.
I love that advice. We don't want to be in the sea of sameness. So we're going to
Mm.
take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to share some more tips of how they can begin to play a bigger game. We'll be right back. Ready to turn your influence into income? Take the Influence Growth Assessment. In just minutes, you'll uncover the next steps to grow your visibility, attract bigger opportunities, and boost your profitability. Visit myinfluencestyle.com to take the assessment today. A new era of success is waiting. Let's make it yours. All right, welcome back. We are discussing how you can position your brand for premium clients and a global effect, if you will. And so, what advice would you give someone if a business owner has been like maybe just in their local market or just a regional market and they don't feel like they're known outside of that market, but they do really want to expand their territory, especially to be able to attract a premium client? Like, what advice would you give them of how they can do that and expand their territory? Because you've done that. You've gone from, you're obviously not just a local brand, you're not even a national brand, you're an international brand. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, yeah, I really do need to expand my territory, what advice would you give them?
Well, Shana, I'm going to give again very, very practical advice, and it's all in one word: events. So you really have to get out there. You have to get people to experience you and energetically. In other words, how are you dressed? How do you speak? How do you show up? The people who's larger than life in terms of their presence are the people who attract premium clients, especially if they package like that. So me and Mike has very successfully built a global business and footprint by getting on the airplane. Now, I know for your American listeners and viewers, that's not always very, very easy, because I know there's sometimes restrictions in terms of the amount of leave you can get for those who's in a job or whatever. And I know many of you may feel that the rest of the world is not always that reachable, but I really would love to challenge your thinking about that, encourage you to go online to a platform like Google or an AI tool like ChatGPT or Grok or whatever floats your boat, and ask about the events that's happening in the world. If you're in leadership, go to leadership events, or maybe it's tech events, or maybe it is business development or health and beauty, whatever you may find yourself in. Go and attend those industry events, because that's where your clients are hanging out. And your idea is not to go to the event and get everyone. Your idea is to walk into that event and really polarize people. In other words, be very specific on what you like and what you dislike, who you like and who you dislike. And I know it sounds incredible, risque to go and do that, but you want to split your audience in two, because a premium client likes opinions. If you're a person who likes to please your audience and you want to get everyone's applause, then attracting premium clients and getting really high paying gigs is going to be a problem, because people do not admire that. They admire the person who say, look, sorry, I like donkeys, I'm not into horses, and this is my opinion, and that's not my opinion, but obviously in a classy way, right? And so this is such opposite from an inclusivity environment in which we live, where we're trying to make feel everyone at ease. But when it comes to entrepreneurship and when it comes to sales, your premium client is going to look for the person who's more bold and who's more courageous and more fearless in what they believe to be right and wrong. And you're going to attract them that way. So events and attending those events and building relationships with people at those events is great. If traveling internationally is a big problem, and you're up and coming and you're still building your brand, you can achieve some of that online. So the second one would be webinars. We've really done well with face-to-face events. We love flying around, putting masterminds together and meeting people in boardrooms in person. And that's how we get a lot of our premium clients initially, but also webinars online, and just giving people incredible value with other premium brands, which magnify your brand, has been very successful.
That's great advice. So we've talked a lot about the technical and tactical things that we have to do in order to be able to attract premium clients. What are the internal mind shifts that we need to make if we're going to begin to attract a premium client? Because I believe that if the how to's was all there was, we'd all be doing it, we'd all be successful. But oftentimes it's those internal obstacles that keep us from moving forward.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's again a bit of a dichotomy because I find in our environment that premium clients, the people who's really paying the top dollar, want a very personalized, seamless, non-technologically experience. So we always put ourselves out there as what we really offering people who's paying top dollar is a very personalized, customized relationship with us directly, which works very direct via WhatsApp with non-schedulers, where it's about the conversation and it's about going to the countries from time to time and meeting people in person, wining and dining them, and having personal conversations. So that's the number one point. So that's still very, very relevant, and especially premium clients can even have a negativity towards technology, especially if you develop, technological solutions that back up what you do, but they don't get reached personally by that. But there's always a but. If you do not adjust to the technology, in other words, let's say, for example, I use a coach, for example, who's giving a very personalized experience. If you do not have software that is available where your state of the art courses are sitting, where people can access bonus material and they can have that experience if they want to, you will not come across as a person who's forward thinking and on top of their game. So they don't really want that. Our experience is what people buy in the premium market is many times you, but what get them many times over the line is the bonuses that these days have to be technology based. So they want to see that you're on top of your game and that you have available there for people is not the lowest in the market, but the best in the market.
Yeah, great advice. But the question was, what are the internal shifts that we have to make as the business owner in order to shift from working with a client that's not premium into premium? Because I think that
Right.
those internal mindsets are the things that can sometimes keep us stuck. And so, what would you say is the number one internal mindset shift that we need to make?
Shayna, people don't believe it. It blows my mind. So many people who's, because remember, if you attract a premium client, you're attracting a person who already can afford you. So they've already had a level of success. And so these people come to you, and they are asking you basically to take them to their next level or whatever. So what I find with a lot of people who's not comfortable 100% in their scheme to charge that amount of money or to attract that type of person is they still don't think they got what it takes. I think there's something wrong with their expertise. They don't think what they provide is of proper value. People love using the word imposter syndrome. I don't quite get imposter syndrome. I don't really understand what people mean by that. But the number one thing where your question, the mindset shift has to happen is usually something happened in the past. Usually someone said something to you. Your parents maybe said to you, look, it's not easy to make money. Your parents maybe, and it's not easy to make money. You have to go and you have to work hard. You have to position yourself. Or people say to them, you're not good enough, or you come out of a family where money doesn't grow on trees. Or so whenever I talk to a person and we dig in, we find that root cause. And that root cause becomes a little bit of a monster. And that monster starts scratching in every area of your life. It affects you when you put your marketing collateral together. It affects you when you put your price down. It affects you when you send that proposal out. It affects you when you wait for the proposal to return. It freaks you out when you get the business at a high price. It just basically spoils everything. A lot of people would call it saboteurs, but you want to, if you're listening or watching today, to ask yourself, what happened in my past that is the number one saboteur when it comes to my relationship with money, what I can charge, and the quality of client I can attract into my business.
Yeah, I find that there's oftentimes, especially with women, a lack of confidence when it's something they haven't done before. And I say to them, well, the reason why you don't you don't have the confidence is because you don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, find someone that can show you what to do. If that's the only thing that's holding you back, is, find someone that is doing what it is that you want to do, or that knows how
Yeah,
to teach you what it is that you want to do. And then, just do that because you're already getting results. Now, if you haven't been in business long enough to be able to get people results, and you know for a fact that what you do works, then don't even waste your time having to go after a premium client, because it's probably going to backfire on you. But if you've
yeah,
been in business long enough and you know that you get your clients the desired outcome that they hire you for, or that they come to purchase with you for, then why not just find out someone that can teach you how to land a bigger client? Find out from Landi. Come into my camp. There's people out there that can teach you how to go after these bigger deals. So get the help that you need. Don't sit there and stay stuck just thinking like,
yeah,
oh, I could never do this. I don't know how to do that. If you do a
yeah.
few things right, this is not hard.
That's brilliant advice. And I think that's why many times, Shayna, I do, fortunately or unfortunately, you know, find clients that's attracted to our environment are many times slightly older, simply because I think they have done exactly what you said. They have started to invest actually in their personal development, they've started to invest in their professional development, and they've used a lot of repetition. They've started to use a lot of repetition and doing things over and over again, which start giving them their confidence. But if you more of a younger business woman or man on this today listening, it doesn't have to be like that. It takes quite a unique individual to really start popping with confidence and investing in themselves in their 20s and 30s and 40s. But if you're willing to do that and you have the budget to do that, I'll highly encourage that you get going and learn.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you being here today and dropping your nuggets. But before we go, if people want to follow you on social media, what handle are you the most active on that they should join you in?
Shayna, they can go and find me, Landi Jack. I've not seen another one, so it's Landi. Jack is Jac, and they'll find me there on LinkedIn, and they can message me directly there. And there's an email address as well there from Chris. That's in my office, chris@circleofexcellence.biz. And I'm always happy to jump on a call and have a conversation and see how we can collaborate. We have been kickstarting this private members club around the world, so that people who wants to start the process can get going, and they can find information about that on LinkedIn as well. So we'll keep it easy and simple.
And is there anything that you would like to offer if people want to take things further with you, or should they do what you just said on LinkedIn?
You know what, we can, I'm a conversation starter and I like to build relationships, so I wouldn't necessarily want to offer something now. I would like to offer a conversation, the start of the conversation. So if this tickles your fancy and you're interested and you maybe want to be part of a private members club, or even better, you maybe want to be an area manager in one of the states of America or somewhere outside of that, and do a private membership club under the name of Circle of Excellence, I would love to talk to you about incredible opportunities there. Maybe you just want to be a member, and have value from that, or maybe you want to be an area manager. Reach out to me or reach out to Chris at our office, and we'll set up a call and we'll start a conversation. I'll be happy to do that.
Awesome. It sounds good. Well, everyone, share this episode with every business owner that you know. And I hope that you will go back and listen to previous and future episodes as well. Everyone, have a great day. Bye bye.